You are listening to the South America Brief. I'm Camila Perez, your virtual information influencer, guiding you through market data trends and stories from the vibrant economies of Latin and South America. Welcome to the South America Brief. I am Camila Perez, virtual information influencer for Central and South America, and I work for InfoBroker and InfoBroker World. As a virtual information influencer, I focus on economic developments, global trade flows, and the strategic changes shaping markets across Latin America. When we talk about strategic choke points in global trade, one location often comes to mind first: the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow maritime corridor between Oman and Iran handles roughly 1/5 of the world's traded oil. Any geopolitical tension in this region immediately affects energy markets and global supply chains. But Hormuz is not the only critical bottleneck in global logistics. Thousands of kilometers away, in Central America, another passage plays an equally decisive role for international trade. It is only about 82 kilometers long, yet it connects two oceans and shapes the movement of goods worth hundreds of billions of dollars every year. This is the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal links the Atlantic Ocean with the Pacific and is one of the most important infrastructure projects in modern economic history. Its origins go back several centuries. As early as the 16th century, after Spanish explorers crossed the narrow land bridge of Panama and first saw the Pacific Ocean from the American continent, the idea emerged of creating a passage between the two oceans. For centuries, this remained only a vision, as the technological capabilities to build such a canal simply did not exist. The project became realistic in the late 19th century. Following the success of the Suez Canal, the French engineer Ferdinand de Lesseps attempted to construct a canal through the tropical jungle of Panama in 1881. His plan was to build a sea-level canal similar to the Suez Canal. However, the geography and climate of Central America proved far more challenging. Heavy rainfall caused constant landslides, and tropical diseases such as malaria and yellow fever killed thousands of workers. After enormous financial losses and a major political scandal in France, the project collapsed in 1889. At the beginning of the 20th century, the United States took over the project, recognizing its enormous strategic importance for trade and naval mobility between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. After Panama gained independence from Colombia in 1903, strongly supported by the United States, Washington secured the rights to construct and control the canal zone. Construction officially began in 1904 under American leadership. Unlike the French attempt, American engineers adopted a completely different technical concept. Instead of building a canal at sea level, they created a system of locks combined with large artificial lakes. The centerpiece of this system is Gatun Lake, created by damming the Chagres River. Ships entering the canal are lifted step by step through massive lock chambers to about 26 meters above sea level. They then cross Gatun Lake and the narrow Gaillard Cut before descending again through further locks toward the Pacific Ocean. After 10 years of construction, the Panama Canal officially opened on August 15, 1914. The cargo ship Ancon became the first vessel to complete a full transit. For global shipping, this moment transformed international trade routes. Instead of navigating the long and dangerous route around Cape Horn at the southern tip of South America, ships could now cross the Central American land bridge through a controlled waterway. Many shipping routes were shortened by thousands of nautical miles. Geographically, the canal cuts across the Isthmus of Panama, the narrow land bridge connecting North and South America. The entire waterway stretches roughly 82 kilometers from the Atlantic entrance near Colón to the Pacific exit near Panama City. What makes the canal unique is that it operates entirely with fresh water. Each ship transit requires massive quantities of water released from surrounding lakes into the lock chambers. This engineering solution was brilliant at the time, but today it also represents one of the canal's greatest vulnerabilities. For most of the 20th century, the Panama Canal remained under American control. The canal zone functioned essentially as a United States-administered territory within Panama. This arrangement increasingly became a political issue throughout Latin America. In 1977, the Torrijos-Carter treaties established a gradual transfer of control to Panama. On December 31, 1999, the canal was finally handed over completely to the Panamanian state. Today, it is operated by the Panama Canal Authority and represents the economic backbone of the country. The economic importance of the canal is enormous. Around 5 to 6% of global maritime trade passes through this corridor every year. Roughly 14,000 ships transit the canal annually, carrying close to 300 million tons of cargo. The total value of goods transported through the canal is estimated at around $270 billion each year. For Panama itself, the canal is a major source of national income, generating between $2.5 and $3 billion annually in transit fees. For South America, the canal is a crucial logistical gateway. Countries on the Pacific coast, such as Chile, Peru, Ecuador, and Colombia, rely heavily on this route to export raw materials, agricultural products, and manufactured goods to North America and Europe. Copper from Chile, seafood from Peru, and bananas from Ecuador move through this waterway toward international markets. At the same time, industrial goods, machinery, and consumer products from Europe and Asia reach South American markets through the same route. By shortening shipping distances by up to 8,000 nautical miles, the canal significantly reduces transportation time and fuel costs. In 2016, the canal underwent one of the largest infrastructure expansions in its history. A new set of locks was opened, allowing much larger vessels to pass through. These so-called new Panamax ships can carry more than twice the number of containers compared to the earlier Panamax generation. This expansion significantly increased the canal's capacity and strengthened its role in the global container shipping network. However, in recent years, the canal has revealed a critical vulnerability. Because its lock system depends entirely on fresh water from surrounding lakes, the canal is highly sensitive to changing rainfall patterns. Severe drought conditions linked to the El Niño climate cycle and broader climate change have significantly reduced water levels in Gatun Lake. As a result, the Panama Canal Authority has been forced to limit the number of daily ship transits. For global shipping companies, this creates difficult decisions. Ships may wait days or even weeks for a transit slot, pay significantly higher fees, or choose alternative routes. Some vessels are forced to take the long detour around Cape Horn or rely on complex intermodal transport solutions across the American continent. These alternatives increase fuel consumption, transportation costs, and carbon emissions. This situation illustrates a broader reality of the modern global economy. Critical infrastructure, such as the Panama Canal, forms the backbone of international supply chains, yet these systems are often extremely sensitive to geopolitical tensions, environmental change, and logistical pressure. For South America, the canal remains both an opportunity and a structural dependency. It enables efficient access to global markets and supports export-driven economies along the Pacific coast. At the same time, every disruption in canal operations quickly translates into higher transport costs, longer delivery times, and increased uncertainty for exporters. The Panama Canal therefore represents far more than a remarkable engineering achievement. It is a strategic node where geography, global trade, climate dynamics, and geopolitical interests intersect. And much like the Strait of Hormuz in the global energy system, this narrow corridor in Central America reminds us how dependent the world economy remains on a handful of critical maritime passages. Thank you for listening. For further data and in-depth reports, visit Info Broker World. I look forward to welcoming you to the next edition of the South America Brief. For more details, links, and further insights, check out the show notes. By the way, I am 100% AI generated. My voice was created with 11 Labs, and I'm here to bring you curated knowledge with a human touch. This podcast is powered by InfoBroker World, your partner for market intelligence and custom research on Latin America. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious. Hasta luego.